students, this is a video of biology, class 12, unit number 1, that is reproduction, and chapter number 2, that is sexual reproduction in angiosperm or sexual reproduction in flowering plants, students. So in this video, we will discuss about the flower. Okay. So students, as you remembered in my previous video, I have discussed with you about vegetative reproduction, right? So student, in vegetative propagation, what it is just a asexual reproduction which occurs in plants, which we called as a vegetative reproduction. Whereas that is the end of first chapter of unit 1, that is reproduction in organisms, and in today's video we will start with the second chapter, that is sexual reproduction in angiosperm, and the first topic which we have to discuss, that is flower. Okay, so what is a flower? Flower is a reproductive part of a plant, right? Flower is a modified stem which functions as a reproductive organ and produce ova or pollen. So flower is what? It is a reproductive organ of a plant which is a modified stem and which helps to produce ova. We can say also to produce egg and also to produce sperms or pollen or male gamete, right? So just start with parts of a flower. Students, whenever you observe a flower, you just pluck it. You never notice the number of parts it has, the number of things a small flower comprises. So it's really interesting to know about the number of things of flowers we have. So today I will discuss with you the different parts of a flower in a simple language or in a biological terms, both. So starting from the outer part of a flower, right? The outermost whorl. You ever observed a rose flower? In the rose, the outermost whorl is of green in color, right? That green whorl or the outermost or the first whorl is called sepals in a simple language. They are called sepals. Whereas in term of scientific, like in term of biology where we are using some scientific names, in that term it is called as calyx. So it is the outermost whorl of a flower. It composes leaf-like green sepals. The sepals are essentially in green in color, but in some cases they are colored like petals also. Exceptions are always there, students. Okay, and such a condition, if we can say such a condition, if a calyx is just colorful like a petals, we called it as petaloids. We called it as petaloid, students. Okay, the second whorl. As I discussed with you, the first whorl, that is calyx. And if I talk about the second whorl, student, the second whorl is corolla, which is a colorful one which we called as a petals. So the second whorl which we called as a petals, which is a colorful one, right? Number of petals are there like rose having red color, yellow color, even white, black also. So that is called a corolla. Okay, it is brightly colored, sometimes fragrant also, to make some insect attractive. To make an attractive one, so that some insects will come and help in the pollination process. The next is the third part, which is also known as the essential part, which plays a very important role in reproduction, that is anther. That is anther. You know that anther forms pollen, but anther is further a proper part of something. We have male reproductive part which we called as stamen. Stamen is a male reproductive part we have. And in stamen we have two things. One is anther and the other one is filament. As you seen in the diagram, one is anther and the other one is filament. And in technological terms, we called it as androecium. In scientific terms, we called it as androecium. Now, androecium is also known as stamen, and stamen and androecium both also known as male reproductive part of a flower. The next part is female flower. Female part of a flower is what? It is called as pistil, it is called as carpel, it is called as gynoecium. So these are some names we have. First is gynoecium, the second one is pistil, the third one is carpel. That is a female reproductive part of a flower we have. It have three parts: stigma, style, ovary. Stigma, style, ovary. These are the three parts we have in case of female. So these are four parts we have. The outermost wall we called it as a calyx or sepals. The next wall which is a colorful one, we called it as petal and corolla. Then we have two male and female part. Male part is known as androecium, also known as stamen, and it has two parts. One is anther and the other one is filament. And female part we have, that is pistil, carpel and gynoecium. It further have three parts, that is stigma, style and ovary, students. So this is all about parts of a flower. Now let's discuss about the functions of flower we have. So flower are modifications of shoot to perform function of sexual reproduction. They are basically modified shoot which perform the sexual reproduction function. Flower of most of the angiosperm are shaped variously to help diverse the mode of pollination. They are different, like they are making different shapes so that there is a diversity, so that pollination become easier, right? We did it definitely in a very elaborate form when we did only pollination one. Okay, the next here is flower provides a seed for germination of pollen, development of pollen tube and formation of gametes as well as fertilization. So these all, as flower is a reproductive part of a plant, so definitely these all roles plays by that particular flower. Okay, the next here we have that the ovary part of the carpel, get transformed into the fruit, and whereas ovules, it is helping for what? They are transfer the seed after fertilization. It transferred the seed after fertilization, students. The next is some floral parts like calyx, various modification takes place which help in the dispersal of fruits and seeds. Okay, the next is, like if I will let you know, there are many of the parts, like sometimes they become needle-like, sometimes they become thorns, petals, right? Sometimes they become spine also to protect the flower. You know that rose have a number of thorns. So you know that bed is not full of roses because it's having the thorns too. So thorns are basically the protection. Okay, so this is how we're protecting our flowers. Okay. The next, so this is all about today's class. It's really an easy one. Then what is a flower? What are different parts of a flower? And how these parts of a flower are very helpful in reproduction. Because students, if you have an idea like different parts of a flower, then you are able to imbibe the knowledge regarding different phenomena takes place inside it. Because this whole chapter is just for sexual reproduction in flowers. So if you have an idea about the flowers, then only you are able to learn the number of things in the next videos. Okay. Still, if you have any of the doubt, any of the query regarding this topic, just let me know via comment box. I am always here to help you, students. So bye bye. Keep watching. See you in the next video, which is on the topic microsporogenesis, how the male gamete will form inside a flower. Bye-bye. Thank you.